It's the year 2012 in Ethiopia, right now when it's 2020 everywhere else. Greetings, people, in the name of Kedamawi, Haile Selassie. Here we are in the year 2020, question mark. So, what's been going on this year so far? Well, we've had the warmest records ever. I think it's land and sea, you know, so things are getting hotter. We are having the coronavirus. We're having many disasters and floods, you know, fires, Australian fires. We've had floods in the UK. We've had floods all over the world. Big earthquakes in places. Croatia, was it the other day, had one. You know, it's going crazy. Volcanoes, tornadoes. I don't know if you saw, was it Iran? They had 2 tornadoes, 3 tornadoes all together. Landslides. Yeah. And talk of a pole shift, you know, because the poles are shifting. Yeah, they're saying the North Pole's moving at some crazy rate. What is going on? What is going on? So, as a Ras and Ras Tafari people, we equate things to the Bible and the book of Revelations, because the book of Revelations is speaking of the end of the world. It actually predicts the future from thousands of years ago, and it's telling us what's going to happen. Sometimes in a straightforward way, sometimes in a mystical way. It's kind of mixed up, so it's not so straightforward to understand. You may understand it better if you know the Bible really well, because it's written in the Bible way. So if you understand the Bible, you understand Revelations. If you just read Revelations just without knowing the Bible, it may seem really confusing. Okay, so we are trying to work out where we are in the timeline of Revelations. Revelations 5:5. Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has conquered, so that he can open the scroll and its 7 seals. Okay, so we know that Haile Selassie I was crowned and christened on the throne of King David in 1930. So let's go to Revelation 5:6. Then I saw between the throne and the 4 living creatures, and amongst the elders, a lamb standing as if it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent into the earth. He went and took the scroll from the right hand of the one who was seated on the throne. Okay, so we know that the lamb is Yahushua, or the one they call Jesus, who takes the scroll from the king, who we now know is Kedamawi Haile Selassie. In chapter 6, the lamb goes on to open the 7 seals, releasing the 4 horses. Revelation 6:12. When he opened the 6th seal, I looked, and there came a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth, the full moon became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll, rolling itself up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Okay, so we know that this has definitely not happened, yeah? So we conclude that we are now on earth experiencing the 7 seals being opened, but we have definitely not yet reached the 6th seal. So, the book of Revelations, it's Amharic and English. So, I'm going to go to chapter 6, the 7 seals. And this is speaking about the lamb opening the 7 seals. So, let's go through these, because when we get to number 7, or the verse 7, or chapter, it's actually, I think, the 4th horse. You might sound familiar. So, then I saw a lamb open one of the 7 seals. I heard one of the 4 living creatures call out, as with a voice of thunder, "Come!" I looked, and there was a white horse. Its rider had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he came out conquering to conquer. So that was the first seal. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature call out, "Come!" And out came another horse, bright red. Its rider was permitted to take peace from the earth, so that people would slaughter one another. He was given a great sword. When I opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature call out, "Come!" I looked, and there was a black horse. Its rider held a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures saying, "A quarter of wheat for a day's pay, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's pay. But do not damage the olive oil and the wine." So here we go. As we get to as we get to verse 7, when he opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th living creature call out, "Come!" I looked, and there was a pale green horse. Its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed with him. They were given authority over 1/4 of the earth to kill with the sword, famine, and pestilence, and by the wild animals of the earth. So, the current coronavirus, I wonder if we're at the pale green horse, you know. And you look at the horses before, there was, you know, the bright red horse, and its rider was permitted to take peace from the earth, so that people would slaughter one another. So that could be something to do with all the wars, the world wars that we've already had, you know, all the slaughter that's going on. So it looks like we're moving through these 7 seals, you know. But as we get through the seals, I'm not going to read it all, but there's an earthquake. And that was at the 6th seal. There's a great earthquake. And basically what happens is the sun becomes black as sackcloth, and the full moon became like blood. The stars of the sky fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll rolling itself up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. So, by the sounds of it, we'll know when we're at this point of the Bible, because there's a great earthquake that affects, it says, every island, every place on the earth. So, I wonder what's going to cause this earthquake, this great earthquake in the Bible when it comes, you know. I mean, we're already seeing the signs this year of disasters and things, you know, and death with the coronavirus. I was going to tackle a bit of a subject now about the year, the time, because in the Bible, in the book of Daniel, it mentions that times will be changed in order to confuse people possibly to what's going on. And earlier I said it's the year 2020, question mark. The reason I said that is because in Ethiopia right now it's actually 2012. That's right, you heard correctly. It's the year 2012 in Ethiopia right now, when it's 2020 everywhere else on the earth. And I don't know if you understand about how the Freemasonic movement and the Illuminati work with the industries out there, music, film industries, how they try to put a spell on people, you know, Hollywood, you know, the fact that Hollywood was the wood that the wizards used, wasn't it, to put the spell on people, you know. But this is what I'm trying to say. With films and music, they put their message out. The Stargate Hadron Collider being built, excuse me, in Switzerland, and some people say that this is a Stargate and it's for bringing spirits through from the other side, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing, because the year 2012 is actually very significant, as you all might know, because our 2012, years ago, back in 2012, next 2020 here, everybody was expecting something to happen, and it didn't happen. That's because it wasn't actually 2012, maybe, because all the disasters are happening now, aren't they? So what's being predicted about 2012? Okay, I don't believe it's the end of the world. I've never said that. But what I have said is that it's possibly the return of the Watchers, because the Mayan calendar and the Mayans believe that their gods return in 2012. Yeah. So maybe 2012 is just a time for a change of things, big changes, you know. Now, I've got this sign here, symbol, that you may recognize. Yeah, the Ankh. Okay. Now this symbol is associated with the ancient Egyptian gods and the pharaoh. Yeah. Now they used to carry this symbol. You can see it on all the hieroglyphs, and also a lot of people in